afternoon, everybody. Thank you all so much for coming today. I'm Theresa Catalano, and that's actually me on the bottom there a few years ago when I was still working out. Actually, no, that's not me. Can never do that. All right, my plan today, I'm going to just talk about interculturality really briefly because we've had a lot of information about this type of thing in the conference. But then I'm going to talk about why and how it's a great vehicle for interculturality, for the development of interculturality. And I'm going to give you some examples. That's the important thing today. So I think there are a lot of definitions going around through the conference, but I like this idea of interculturality in talking about the building of relations between different cultures that enable groups or individuals to forge links based on equity and mutual respect. And so in order to think about how dance is connected to interculturality, we need to first talk about what is dance. So what is dance? You can also demonstrate. Anybody? Excellent, excellent. So yeah, it's paying attention to your motion in time and space, to the shape of your body and the energy being used. Dance is a form of art, expression, communication, and learning to make connections across the whole of human experience because the body is the means, the mode, and the maker. And it's a form of both knowledge and inquiry. Dance is inherently embodied since it's always of, with, by, about, and through the body. It's the only art of which we ourselves are the stuff of which it's made. Dance is a tool through which meaning is created, and here's my connection to the meaning making. I think because of that, it can be used to make meaning making a central element in teacher education. That's one of the things I'm going to talk about today. In movement, imagination is freed from strict understandings of static images and more fully experienced as a catalytic presence permeating the act of sense-making. Dancing bodies provide an embodied mapping of individuals and how society shapes them, leading to expression, action, and also analysis of experience. So why dance in this connection to interculturality? Well, dance is a vehicle for self-understanding and reflection. I think a lot of us know that's one of the important things in interculturality, first being aware of your own culture. It allows learners to feel the presence of others in a way that honors their transcendence of categories. You know, there's nothing like having to put your body on top of someone else's to build that kind of trust and that feeling that makes you think about people in a different way. There's a type of bonding that occurs. It develops a moral imagination, this ability to see others as human beings and not objects, right? And sensitivity to the environment around you. And it brings people together. And I put, for example, Peshawar, because first time I thought about this connection between dance and interculturality was a long time ago when I was a Fulbright scholar studying in Pakistan. And I was on the border town of Peshawar, and we were invited to the home of Afghan refugees. And I had some Afghan friends who had taught me some things about Afghan dancing. And our group leader found this out, and she would just throw me out and say, Theresa's going to dance. And it was super embarrassing. But afterwards, a lot of the Afghans would come up to me and say, can't believe that somebody from across the world could dance like us. In essence, you know, we're so surprised that you're actually not as different as we thought. And so I started thinking, you know, there's some kind of power, there's some kind of ability that dance has to bring people together. And so I think that some of the ways that this happens is that dance creates trust, interdependence, and empathy. You know, you are occupying the same space with somebody else. You have to be careful they don't crush you or they don't drop you. A lot of things are going on there. And it can act as a precursor for discussion of contentious issues, because when you bond like that, you build this trust, and if you're trusting each other and you've laughed together, you want to talk about issues in a different way. You become more friendly, and these contentious issues, whatever these controversial topics are, you're able to talk about them on a different level. And it can act as a metaphor for intercultural communication. For many people, dance is a foreign land. They've never been there before, and they may not want to go there. For other people, they may have been to the world of hip-hop, but they've never been to the world of waltz or the world of Bollywood, right? So it can be this metaphor. I'm going to demonstrate how that works later. But it can also help in Develop embodied understandings of intercultural content. It can help students understand content better. And I'm also going to demonstrate that. So today I just want to show how we can create a space for these embodied experiences in teacher education classes. I'm going to give some examples, and I really hope, other than just you taking my examples and plopping them into your class, I want to inspire you to know that you have the agency and the power to do whatever you want to do, and you can create aesthetic experiences, not just dance, artistic experiences and all kinds of things. So the first example today is how you can use dance as a metaphor for intercultural discomfort. And in order to do that, if I stand up here and talk, it's not going to be as effective, so I need to have some volunteers. So I'm going to ask for 6 to 10 volunteers to come up to the front. And the way this works, you're going to stand over there and you're going to face each other, making 2 lines, okay? And I'm going to have Metab help me out here a little bit. I'm going to close my eyes, and I'm going to count to 10, and I'm going to pray really, really hard that 10 people or so will go over there. So, bir, iki, üç, dört, beş, altı, yedi, sekiz, dokuz, on. I'm afraid to look, but here we go. Give them a hand! Yay! Look at that! And they made 2 lines. Very impressive. Okay, I am thrilled. All right, so I hope it's okay if I come over here. We need one more person. And look how they took care of each other in organizing partners. All right, so everybody has a partner? Okay, super. So how this works is I'm going to post a question up on the board, and if you were doing this in a language class, you can adjust this to all kinds of things. But if you do it in a language class, you want to get the students to repeat the question, you want to focus on intonation, on meaning of the question. But since we're in intercultural communication and this is a different audience, we're not going to focus so much on the question. But I'm going to have, when I post the question, this line, you're going to ask your partner the question, they're going to answer, and then they will ask you, okay? Then, you lucky person. Then, when I play the music, you're going to dance down the middle, and you're just going to go like this, and you're going to end up right here, and this line, you're going to move down 1, and everybody has a new partner. See how that works? Okay, but we're not going to make her be by herself. No, that's not fair. We're going to all support her as a team. So I need my volunteers up here. I'm going to teach you the basic bachata step. Audience, we need you to help us out as well. Could you stand, please? All right. So while she's dancing, and you can dance however you want down the middle. You get total freedom. Yeah. The rest of us, we're going to learn the basic bachata step. It's just step together, step, touch. That's it. Okay, so I'll do it. We'll do 5, 6, ready, go. Step together, step, touch. Go the other way. Step together. All right, add some hip. Step together, step, touch, step together, step again. Step together. Now look to your left. Step together. Now look to your right. Now add some shoulder and shoulder. Together and shoulder. Give everybody a hand. You did it. All right. Okay, so that is only when I turn on the music. So first, everybody, you can, actually you need to still stay standing. Sorry. You're not done. I'm not done with you yet. All right. So now I've got the question up here. Turn to a partner and answer the question. And the line up front, ask your partner. What are cultural expectations for dancing in your culture? What do you do when these expectations are violated? Okay? So go ahead. Now you have a new partner, okay? okay? And if I were doing this in a language class, I would have them repeat, right? We do this 2-3 times, new partners, so you're constantly repeating, and you're getting new answers, and you're refreshing your knowledge. Okay, so instead of that, we're going to do a second question, but this time we're going to do the basic Menangis Tip. All right, so audience, again, if you'd like to try, it's just a knee bend, other knee straighten. So bend one knee, straighten the other. Bend one knee, straighten the other. It's not the hip, it's the knee, okay? And extend to the back. And 1, 2, 3. Now try a little stepping. 1. Just take your foot off the ground like that. Now remember, everybody's sleeping upstairs and there's a party downstairs. That's what we say. Okay. All right, so you, when the music comes on, you're going to dance down the middle, and we're just going to merengue with you, okay? Are you ready for the challenge? Okay. All right. All right, so next question. Here we go. How can embodied experiences like this build a creative learning community that is trustful of one another? Go ahead and ask your partner. I can tell you're enjoying this. He's moving. He's got the movement. I love it. Right.
Yeah, right.
So do all cultures have dance?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, all those things come up. You know, I would have to say yes, but then that is a discussion point. That's an intercultural question.
Sometimes if I go for my class, right, my students say, teacher, we're going to dance today. I said, no, you got to leave at the end of the class. I said, no, if there's no dancing from the beginning, no class today. Class is over.
True. Good point. Good point. Okay. Everybody in your nice suits. Now you got a new partner. Add some clapping. Give him a hand for our volunteers. All right, you can take a seat. Thank you so much. They don't want to sit down. See that? They want to continue. All right, thank you, volunteers. You are done. Somebody get me a hook. Yes. All right. That was fantastic. Fantastic. Okay, so like any experience we do, the most important part then is the reflection about it. And I'm sorry for the noise of the microphone. So I'm going to hold up these questions, and these are things you would talk to each other about afterwards. So go ahead and talk with your partner. All right, so I would also have the students then go back to their textbook, and the things that we're learning in class. And this, by the way, I can't remember if I told you this, but we, in this example, the class I used was a graduate course for teacher education, pre-service and in-service teachers, and it was called Intercultural Communication. So we were studying about those concepts. So I'd have them go back to Jackson, that's their textbook author's suggestions for nonverbal intercultural communicative competence, and then think about what they did, and if they exhibited any of these things, then what could they have done? And so I'm running out of time, so I don't want to spend much time on this because I couple other examples I want to show you. But, that's the idea, getting them to think back, using the dance as a metaphor for intercultural experiences. And did they, incorporate these kind of things? The second example is how I use it to help with really difficult content. And I think it was you that had a question about semiotics. And I have the students read Galen Irvine's 1995 article talking about iconicity, recursivity, and erasure. And those are really difficult concepts for students to grasp. And so I demonstrate this through dance. And then I'm going to show you the last part, too. I have them read stories and recreate dances to view these concepts. So this is just an example. I put this in because last time I did something on dance, everybody said, "What? We want to see what it looks like." So here's just a really brief example of me and two students that helped me out showing the content. And then later the students will be creating their own dances out of stories, which I'll talk about in a second. I'm going to start first with iconicity. Iconicity is when the sign physically resembles what it's attempting to represent. Hi. In the case of language, this is when a linguistic element comes to display a group or individual's inherent essence or nature. In the case of real life, this one good example might be when we associate slow speech, as in a southern drawl, with the slowness of the mind. And Hollywood's done a great job of promulgating this stereotype that Southerners are stupid, right? The false stereotype. Okay, so you get the idea. But some of you might be thinking, I don't know, I can't do that in front of my class. There are lots of examples. I see some of you agreeing. There are lots of examples where you can show how dance can be used to teach content. And this example is showing how it can be used in science. And I'll just show you really quick because I am running out of time.
It's happening right now. The reason that you can see me standing here is because this room is filled with more than 100 quintillion photons, and they're moving randomly through the space near the speed of light. All of them are different colors. They're rippling with different frequencies, and they're bouncing off every surface, including me, and some of those are flying directly into your eyes, and that's why your brain is forming an image of me standing here. Now, a laser is different. It also uses photons, but they're all synchronized. And if you focus them into a beam, what you have is an incredibly useful tool. The control of a laser is so precise that you can perform surgery inside of an eye.
Okay, so you get the idea. And the other thing is, you can't just throw people that have never danced before, and say, produce, with your body. People aren't used to that. What happens then is they end up miming things. And you don't want them to say, like, I came and I drank a glass. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for deeper understandings. So in order to do that, you need to show them how abstract concepts can be mapped onto the body. And so I'm just going to give you an example and have you participate real quick. Show me happy with your pinky finger. Not your middle finger, beware your pinky finger, yes. Okay, remember, not your face, you're just your finger. Angry, show me angry with your left foot. All right, oh, this guy. I see stomping and a lot of stiff feet. What about surprised with your right hand? Surprise, you didn't know you'd have to dance today. Ah. Okay. And now you need to get with a couple people next to you and show me a pile of grief. A pile of grief. Some of you are crying out there. Oh, that's excellent. Oh, I love it. I love it. This is fantastic. All right. Look around you if you can. Notice some of the different, we have some people that totally got into it. They are absolutely all over each other. And then others that are looking around uncomfortably and kind of hoping that I wouldn't notice them. Yes. So that's a conversation, that's a breaking down. What's going on there? Why were you uncomfortable? What, how did you feel after you had to, for example, pile on top of your neighbor there? How has that changed your relationship? Okay. All right, so the final example, because I am almost out of time, is how you can then build on this, build on the demonstration of for example, the iconicity, recursivity, erasure, through recreating intercultural stories and experiences through dance. And you use this as a springboard for more neutral types of conversations and for developing an ear for the voices of others. And so I've done this using stories from my book. And there you go. But you can use anything you want. I had stories people talking about migration, but depending on whatever topic you're going to be discussing, what other issue it is. And so I just wanted to give you an example. Then what I would do is I'd have the students read this story, and this is about a Bosnian couple named Miljan and Diana. And I would tell the students, read the story, then refer back to the story. And I want you to talk about how iconicity, recursivity, and erasure are illustrated somewhere in this story, right? It's real people, real story. And then recreate the story in dance. And so what happened through this is the issue of erasure came to the forefront because the particular part of the story that they were reading, Miljan was talking about how the words Bosnian Serb, Bosnian Croat came to serve as code words. They were these metonymies that substituted ethnicity for religion. And what happened when that was done is that the role of religion in the war was erased. Okay, and I'll just play you a quick clip of Miljan talking about this very thing. And this is, just so you get an idea of the deep, very serious discussions that were happening in the dance creation process.
I expect from Catholic people, but 99.9% Catholic people who lived, who is born in Bosnia and right now live in Bosnia. They said, I'm Hrvat, I'm Croat. No, I'm not. You are not. You are Bosnian, but your religion is Catholic. Our old president.
Okay. So when the students had to go back and take this story and turn it into dance onto their bodies, right? You can imagine, that it was problematic that they were thinking about religion, how to show the role of religion and erasure of religion on their bodies. And so they would come up with things like, this or this was religion. And that led to discussions, well, wait a minute, I do this, or, what is the iconic representation of religion? What is religion? So, maybe in the end they all came up with this that would be more inclusive, right? So they had this really deep discussion, and they had to keep going back to the story. They had to gain this greater understanding of the issues and the voices, and they came up with this incredible empathy for the characters. And this, I think, is the essence of what dance can bring. So in conclusion, dance is a powerful way to develop interculturality. Movement-based activities can help make meaning-making a central element in teacher education and create a trusting atmosphere for discussion of intercultural issues. Aesthetic experience is a particular way of being in the world, which brings enhancement to all we do. I really do believe that. And you, out there, have the power to take this information and be creative and do whatever you can in your own context, in your own classroom. But whatever you do, reflection is the key. You have to take it back. You have to bring it back to those concepts. So thank you all very much.